สวัสดีครับทุกคนนักเรียนสบายดีไหมเก่งมาก Okay, today we're going to review the content that we practiced this semester. Okay, so let me share my screen with you and I'll get you well prepared for the coming exams. All right. Hey, yeah, yeah, put that down. You, nang long, yeah. Okay. Okay, let's begin. I'll share my screen. Okay, so this is the first section that I want you to notice. So we have for our M1 final exam preparation, we'll be reviewing all of the content that we studied this semester. So first, we have a clause passage. We'll review the simple past tense. If you have your book at home, does this? If you have your book at home, then please look at page 106 and pages 158 through 159. That has the expanded breakdown of the grammar. We have some gap fill for vocabulary locations around the city, like post office, supermarket, store, etc. And that's on page 98 and 99. We have a reading comprehension based on the Mark Rober verse Cristiano Ronaldo. You know what I mean. Cristiano Ronaldo. We watched that video in class. We have some vocabulary for health and safety and some writing about should and shouldn't and giving advice. So you're going to use should, use shouldn't, because, blah, blah, blah. All right, let's begin. So, reviewing the simple past tense. We're going to watch this video and it will have some moments where we can pause and elaborate more and ask some questions. So you notice they're giving us a time reference, 2 hours ago. Did you eat dinner? Yes, I ate dinner 2 hours ago. When were you busy? Last week. So remember, the subject is the person doing the action. So I, you, he, she, we, they, right? Whether it's singular or plural, the regular verbs will remain the same. I watched, we watched, you watched, but they watched. No matter whether it's singular or plural, nungkon or konyert, the verb in the simple past tense will stay the same for the regular verbs. So when you see these, you can ask yourself the question, did you walk your dog yesterday? Yes, I walked my dog yesterday. Did you study last night? Yes, I studied last night. So remember, irregular, this word means like not normal, my pakati. So did you do the dishes? You langjan mai? Yes, I did the dishes. Did you drink enough water today? Yes, I drank lots of water today. Did you eat breakfast? Yes, I ate breakfast. Did you go to the movies last night? Yes, I went to the movies last night. Did you run to school this morning? Yes, I ran to school. Huh? Alina? What did you say? I said, bring your pencil to school every day. Well, I should say, I said, we are going to the movies. What time did you sleep last night? I slept at 10 p.m. What did the teacher write on the board? He wrote all the irregular verbs. So you see here, the subject can change, but the verb form will remain the same. I ate, but we ate. Singular and plural, ate remains the same. She ate pizza, or the students ate pizza. The student ate pizza as well. Now, some of you have strong English and you might want to showcase your skills on the test, but you might be mixing up your verb tense. So, for example, some of my students, they want to show their skills and they might write something like, my dog sleeps on my couch or on my bed every night. But that's a continuous tense. So just stick to the assignment. This is the simple past tense. My dog slept on my bed when? Last night. So these be verbs, think of them as the state of something, the condition of something. So it's sort of describing the verb. Okay. Kind of like in Thai, you say "เป็น" "ผมเป็นครู" right? I am a teacher. It's kind of like that in English. He was or is present tense, right? So he is running. That's happening now. But he was running. So now we take was. or were if it's plural. So let's explore that a little bit now. So he was, but they were. So when it's plural, we use were. That's why we need to hear that S sound. So in the earlier example, it said the student ate pizza or the students ate pizza, right? Now this would change. The student was eating pizza. The students were eating pizza. So we will keep the eat becomes remains as eating because we already have past tense one time. So the rule with past tense is we use only one. So instead of staying with ate, it would still be eat and then the action plus ing. So the verb to be, was, or were is the one that we focus on. Okay. So you notice this I was tired, but we were tired. You were tired, but they were tired. He was, she was, the students were, but the student was. So we have to remember this is like same like we do with is, am, are. He is, we are. Same with to be, the verb be. I was, but we were. You were. They were. He was, she was, and any kind of he or she, you can replace that with a proper noun name. My mom was tired. Tiffany was tired. He was tired. Roger was tired. So you notice, what about the shoes? Expensive, right? Past tense were. So it's the condition of something. What is the condition of the shoes? They were expensive. Now let's practice. So what did we learn? Eat, we know becomes ate. And does it change with the subject? No. They ate pizza. I ate pizza. 1 million people ate pizza last night, right? Same. Ready? So, what do you think? Drink. Many of you have a good memory and you always say, drink, drank, drunk, drink, drank, drunk. But drunk, we rarely use. Drunk is not commonly used. So, really, only drink and drank are your most common two options. So, which one? Good. Drank. And same thing. He drank, she drank, they drank coffee yesterday morning. It will stay the same. 10 million people drank coffee yesterday morning. Play. So we have a Y, remember? What do we do with that? There's a vowel plus a Y. Played. He played guitar yesterday. Very good. เมื่อวาน you do TV ใช่ไหม? She watched ed, right? Some of you pronounce this like watched, and it looks like that, but it sounds like watched. It's like a no sound in your throat. It's in your lips. Watched. Very good. So what's past tense of go? Good. Went. We went to Paris 8 years ago. The student. So this is a be verb, right? So it's the condition of something. So how did the students feel? They felt tired. So now we have to explain that. The students were tired after class. Good. And just remember for that one, you notice it was students, plural. So that's why we need to hear that S sound. Because if it said student, nung nakriyan, then one student was tired. But more than one were. Okay, now let's look at the next slide. So as you see here, this is the grammar reference for Unit 6. This is in your book. This is the page, the 150 page that I mentioned before. Simple past, talking about the past. We use the simple past to talk about things in the past. I went on vacation. When? Last month. I saw many beautiful places. Saw, right? Past tense of see, you saw. Last week, I woke up very early every day. I met my friends at the library and we played video games. Then we watched a movie together. Regular verbs. So most of the time with the regular verbs, you just add ed. Visit becomes visited. Like that one, play. Play becomes played. We have some rules on how to conjugate. So if it add a D, if it ends in E, right? So you already have the E at the end, so you don't need another ED. Just add a D. Love, add D, loved. If the verb ends in a consonant plus Y. Remind me, Naklian, what is a consonant? You. What do you think a consonant is? So in Thai, you have Sara and you have Oksontai, chamai. So in English, we have vowels and consonants. So A, E, I, O, U, those are the vowels. Every other letter is a consonant, okay? So as long as it ends in anything other than a vowel, you just add Y, right? Consonant plus Y. Then we add IED. Take off the I, take off the Y and add IED. If the verb ends in a vowel plus a consonant like play, PLAY, right? A is a vowel. Then we just add ED, played. So there's some spelling rules for this. Now, when I grade your papers, I'll give you some slack. I want you to try your best. If I can see that you understand the right word, I'll give you credit. but try your best to apply the grammar and spelling rules. The irregular verbs, those ones are words that you just have to memorize. Many regular verbs, such as come, came, sit, sat. Where did you sit? I sat next to my mother. What time did you meet your friends? We met at 10 p.m. Ride, rode. Did you ride the BTS this morning? Yes, I rode the BTS. What time did you sleep? I slept at 10 p.m. Did you write a letter to Santa Claus? Yes, I wrote him last year. I'm still waiting for my presents. Sometimes the simple past looks the same, right? We talked about the word cut. Did you cut the paper properly? Yes, I cut it properly yesterday. So even though we're using it in the simple past tense, it stays the same. Same like put. Where did you put your book? I put my book in my backpack yesterday. So it's proper time reference, but the word stays the same. Here, the example, they said, I'm sure I put the book in my backpack yesterday. Sometimes the simple past is very different. Buy. What did you buy at the store? I bought Fugler dolls. They're so gross. What did you eat? I ate kamangai. Where did you go after school? I went to my friend's house. What did you have for dinner? I had steak. What time did you leave for school today? I left at 5 a.m. What did the teacher teach today? He taught the review for the final exam. So these words, they change into a different word, and you just have to remember them. So practice them. And they mention here, these are some words and phrases that we can use with simple past. So sometimes we don't need a time reference. Did you make your bed? Yes, I made my bed. But it's because I'm responding to a question that I don't need the time reference. But if you make a new sentence, yesterday I went to the movies with my friends. I didn't ask any questions, so it's helpful for a time reference. Last week, month or year. In plus a month, year, or whatnot. My birthday is in June. Past tense. Or my birthday, my Valentine's Day was on February 14th. Okay, next. So now let's look at this closed passage and prepare for this. Is a similar type of structure that we'll see on our exams. So choose the correct verb to complete each sentence in the simple past tense. Last Saturday, what's past tense of go? Good, went. I went to the park with my cousin. We take many photos. What's past tense of take? Good, took. We took many photos and talked about our family. Right? So they already have the past tense of talk is talked. After that, we again went to the library to borrow some books. In the afternoon, I went to the swimming pool because it was very hot. My brother asked. Now, here's an exception. A did is already a past tense question. Did you, anything following that, it's assumed that it's in the past from the asking of that question. So, did you, do we change it to bought? No, because it's a question. Did you buy some drinks at the supermarket? Now, the answer will be past simple tense. I answered, yes, We bought some juice and water before dinner. Now, this word here, withdraw, that's the present tense. I am making a withdrawal from the ATM happening now. So this is a banking specific word, but you'll see it on your tests, so be prepared for it. Withdraw. Think about the word draw, like writing something, drawing a picture. Did you draw that picture? How do I reply in the past tense? Yes, I drew that picture myself. So same applies to this word. Withdraw becomes good. Withdrew. So before dinner, I withdrew some money from the ATM. Withdrew. In the evening, we saw a funny show on TV. If you forget which one to use, remember that toy on the playground where you sit here and you sit here and it's so we call this a seesaw in English because you see your friend and then you saw your friend. You see them, now you don't anymore, so you saw them. You see them, you saw them. Because am I seesaw? Okay. After that, now it's plural. Does it change? No, right? We ate pizza at home. Finally, we went to bed late because we were tired. Very good. So if you practice this and you can get this understood easily, then you'll be well prepared for the final exam. Okay. Now, I know some of you struggle with English more than others. Our class is a very mixed skill set, and that's okay. So I have this video for you of Krudu to explain in Pasatai. And I'll pause his video from time to time to make something more clear. So this is something I mentioned before. With a negative, we will still continue to use the verb one. I did not go. But in the positive, yes, I went. Okay. So when we have the negatives, because the word did is there, did is a past tense indicator. So we only need one past tense indicator in the sentence. So that's why the verb will remain as verb one. And remember, subject, That's I, me, we, he, she, it, they, us. Okay. Now he's explaining some of the spelling changes when the verbs end in a P, but we don't have that covered in our unit, so we don't need to review that right now. We can study that next term. Okay, I just want to show you a little bit of Krudu explaining in Pasatai so that if I'm not clear, that you can have some deeper understanding. Okay, next. This is vocabulary around the city. All right, this is in your student book, page 98 and 99. All right, so first let's look at the words here, and then I'll go to our book. So here we have bus station. Repeat after me. Bus station. Good. Empty, empty. Like me, right now my cup has water, but if I drink it all, it will be empty. Like galmot, empty. Subway, one MRT. Sub means below, right? Submarine. Marine in English means related to the ocean, marine life. If you're a marine biologist, you study the life in the ocean. So the dam, right? I forget the Thai word, but submarine, it goes below the water. So subway, the train is under the ground, right? Ground floor, it's below that. Train station, satani. Satani Dolphai. Dolphai. Satani Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi. I forget. Okay. So now let's look at some other words here. We have buildings. That's more than one. Empty. Restaurant. Now you might hear an American say restaurant. 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 3 syllables. Or restaurant. Restaurant is more proper, but very common to hear restaurant. Bus station, gym, right? You buy ออกกำลังกาย at the gym. Supermarket. So think about a regular market, talad, right? But talad yai, supermarket. Now, give me some examples of a supermarket here in Thailand. It's not I don't really mean like a talad type market where there's street sellers outside or stations outside, but this is typically in a building. So what are some famous examples here in Thailand? Big, good, Big C, or Tops, Lotuses, used to be Tesco Lotus, right? You might still say Tesco. Villa Market, Villa Market. What about in the US? What's a famous supermarket in the US? Many of you have told me Walmart in class, right? Or in Florida, we have Publix. I miss pub subs. You might. Okay, how about busy? I got on the BTS and it was very busy today. What do I really mean? คนเยอะใช่ไหม? So busy can mean many people. It can mean I am busy. Teacher, can you help me with this project? แป๊บนึง, I'm busy right now, but I can help you in 30 minutes. So busy has a few different meanings. I can say the work party was very busy. I mean, lots happening, a lot going on. Museum. Blah, 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 museum. Try. Pipitapan. So you can go to the museum to learn about history or art or many types of museums, like the Erawan Museum here in Kurumtep. They have the many articles and items about the big major religions. It's an interesting place, right? Store. Now, store is a broad term. Store can be any place that sells something. So I could say, I need to go to the store to buy some eggs. Or I can say, I need to go to the store to buy some sneakers, right? So store is any shop that sells something. Community. What is a community? Some of you know this as a group of people. That's the main idea that I want you to remember. Community is just a group of people, and it can get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So your family community, right? Maybe you have your friend group, that's your community, or you play online and you have a group online, you're in the online community, or you might have a culture, maybe a subculture. You and your group, your community, you like alternative rock music. So that's your own community. Or it could be larger community like your Kontai. You're the Thai community. But within the Thai community, right, you have Kon Nua, Kon Isan, Kon Tai, Kon Klang, right? So you have many different communities within one big community. And how about the post office? You want to send someone a package. Patsaru. Nowadays, we might use Grab to send something locally, or there's many kind of local alternatives nowadays. But traditionally, we went to the post office. Thai Post, for example, right? Okay. So now let's look at our book together. So here, this is our book, and you see it's on page 98 and 99. You can look at this as well. So let's listen. So if you want to circle the words that you hear, then listen again and use the words to complete the sentences. So let's just listen and try to guess what words belong here. Okay, เข้าใจไหม Let's listen one more time. Oh, in this mode here. Huh? Okay. Now, which words did you hear? Very good. We had buildings, bus station, busy, community, museum, restaurant, and store. Good. Okay. Now let's go back. So let's look at it again. Irwan Ban takes photos of buildings. The maxi is a beautiful. Yes, very good. Right. The Butaro is a hospital that helps the. So if you forget, look, in Rwanda, what is Rwanda? It's a country, right? So a country is like a community. So we would say community. The TEA in Spain has a library, an art museum, a pipitapan museum, and ranahan, a restaurant, right? The TEA is a busy place. It's easy to get to the TEA. It's very close to the. Good. All right. Next. Okay, so let's look at these words. Oh, this is our Unit 7 vocabulary. So this is the health and safety section. So I think you know most of these words, but let's just look at them again and practice. So this ambulance, ambulance. Pasatay, you have rot payaban, right? Rot payaban. You take an ambulance to the hospital after an emergency, or you've been in an accident and you can't move. So you call the emergency number and they send you an ambulance to take you to the hospital. Blood, one blood, right? If you cut your finger, you will see blood or blood will come out. Doctor, what is that? Ma. So you have a doctor. You go to the doctor after you make an appointment. You go to the doctor and they help you get better. Exercise. ออกกำลังกาย. Teacher Sean loves to exercise. Fall. I don't know this word in Thai, but you shouldn't run on ice because you will slip and fall. Clue, clue, clue. Pharmacy. This is Hongya, right? You need some medication, you go to the pharmacy. The doctor will give you a prescription for the pharmacy. Or you can go to the small pharmacy here in Thailand. They're everywhere, right? Little Hongya. You buy some paracetamol, something you don't need a prescription for. Fever. Maybe you all remember during COVID, we had to boop, una boom, pakati, right? And then you're so scared, una boom, my pakati, woo, 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 and they take you away. But a fever is when you ron mak, you don't feel good, your temperature is higher than normal, you have a fever. X-ray. So you see here, you see the foot, and underneath through the skin, we can see the garuk. That's for the usefulness of the X-ray. The X-ray can go through the skin and bounces off of the bone, and the image can show what's underneath the skin. Very good. Some more Unit 7 vocabulary, and then we'll look in the book. So here we have the word cold, but this is not the same as now or yen, right? Mamuangan. This is cold, like not the flu, but we always say cold and flu season. So a regular illness, maybe you may sabay. We call that a cold. I have a cold. So it's not the same as temperature. This word, can you pronounce that? You see ear and then ACHE. This sounds like ache, ear ache. One jep hu. Jep is like an ache, like a pain. I have a back ache. Buat hua, head ache. What am I? Buat hong, stomach ache. It's kind of like a word for pain. You have aches and pains. Ache is a little like a long lasting type of pain. Ear ache. So let's look in the book for that. So here you see we have the word blood, doctor, fall, fever, nurse. What is a nurse? That's right. Nong payaban, nurse. So the nurse helps the doctor. Pharmacy, hongya. Sick, my sabay, same like a cold. I feel sick today. I think I have a cold. I have a fever. I'm not feeling well. Or I feel well today. Well is like the feeling that you have. Sometimes people will say, I don't feel good, but really we should say well. So let's look at the crossword. Can you see the words there? Let's look for fall. That's easy because there's two L's, right? So can you see it? Boom. Fall. Doctor. Sick. Blood. Pharmacy. Some of you might want to pronounce this like pharmacy, but it's similar to phone. PH for phone sounds like an F, right? Nurse. Nong payaban. Well. Sabay di mai? Sabay di. I am well. Or you're mai sabay. I am not well. I have a cold. I'm sick. Okay? So let's look here. When you cut yourself, comes out of your body. What comes out of your body when you cut yourself? Blood. A what is a shop where you can buy medicine when you're sick? Pharmacy. Good. A what can help you if you break an arm or leg? So if you break your arm or your leg, they need to see to make sure it's broken, right? What do we use to look through the skin? That's right, X-ray. You can exercise and eat healthy food to feel like you want to be sukapap, right? So you feel well. You can exercise and eat healthy food to feel well. The blank asked you a question, the blank asks you questions and is usually the first person you talk to when you're sick. So who do we see first usually, the nurse or the doctor? The nurse, right? Good. They check your blood pressure, they check your height, your weight, see what's wrong with you, then they bring you to the doctor. A high what can make you feel really bad? Unapum may pakati. A high fever can make you feel really bad, really unwell. You can on the wet floor and hurt yourself. Slider, slip and fall. You can fall on the wet floor and hurt yourself, right? You need to stay home from school when you're very sick. Good. So let's look again. Blood, pharmacy, doctor, feel well. The nurse asks you questions and is usually the first person you talk to when you're sick. High fever can make you feel really bad. You can fall on the wet floor and hurt yourself. You need to stay home from school when you're very sick because you'll spread your illness and everyone else will get sick too. Okay, very good. Now let's look at this section here. Circle the correct word to complete the sentences. So you said you need to make an before you can see the doctor. Do we need to make an accident? No, you don't want to make an accident. Accidents just happen, right? You don't plan to make an accident before you see the doctor. So you make an appointment. If you want to do your makeup test, you have to make an appointment with teacher Sean to find the time that you're both free and available. Appointment. An earache or an x-ray can help the doctor see if you broke an arm. Remember, earache is hu. So my earache. X-ray. Chamai. What's that? You can by walking, running, or swimming. You can't really fall when you're swimming, right? You're already in the water. So you can exercise by walking, running, or swimming. Exercise. She got a after she ate bad fish. So sometimes it might seem like both answers can work, but we have to look at the clues, the context, right? You ate something bad. So what happens when you eat something bad? Oh, get home, right? Stomach ache. Stomach ache. I know that word looks like stomash ashe, but it sounds like stomach ache. Be careful not to yourself when you use a knife. You can't nurse yourself, right? So you can, but you can cut yourself. Be careful not to cut yourself when you use a knife. Oh no, I think he broke his leg. Call. Who's better for that? A pharmacy? What will you give him? Paracetamol for a broken leg? My, you have to call the Rotpayaban. Emergency. Call the Rotpayaban. Okay. Now let's look at this one. Did you go to the hospital in an... So remember, we have a and an, right? When do we use an? When the next word starts with a vowel, right? So you can use that clue. Did you go to the hospital in an emergency, in an accident? No. Did you go to the hospital in an ambulance? Yeah. Can you take me to the, so I can get something to help my headache? Just a headache, right? So it's not the doctor, it's not the hospital. We can get some paracetamol where? Pharmacy. Did you get an after swimming in the pool all day? Sometimes we have something we call swimmer's ear. That's like you get a bad what? Good. Earache. And what do you do when you have a I drink tea and sleep? Which one helps you? Drink some tea and sleep? Maybe buat hua? Oh, cold. What do you do when you have a cold? I drink tea and sleep. How did your car happen? When two cars hit each other, what do we call that? A car accident, right? Car crash, but that's an accident. It wasn't on purpose. You can get a what if you play video games for too long? Oh, your eyes hurt. And when your eyes hurt, you get what? ปวดหัวใช่ไหม? Headache. Very good. Okay, now let's look at the last section. This is giving advice with should and shouldn't, right? So we have, let's say you and your friend are talking, and your friend says, I have a headache. You can tell them, oh, you should go to bed. Tamai, because you have a headache, you should go to bed. My brother fell in the kitchen. What should he do? You shouldn't move him. I mentioned in class, it's bad to move someone who's fallen or who maybe someone on a motorbike had an accident and they're laying in the street. You don't want to move them because they might have some damage in their spinal cord, and that could make the damage worse. So that's why we don't move them. We wait for the ambulance to arrive and put them with a neck brace to keep their head from moving. And then they take them to the hospital, and the nurse will see them, and then the doctor, and they'll give them an x-ray. There was an accident. What should I do? You should call an ambulance. Okay? Now, let's do some practice. And I put this in the last slide for you. You can click at home and play these games as well. Even if the truth might hurt, you be honest. What do you think? Should or shouldn't? You should. But not. You're a good boy. You balance work and free time, not just focus on one. So in Thai, you always say work-life balance. It's very important, right? You should balance. To stay healthy, you not get enough sleep. To stay healthy, this one's weird because they're doing a double negative. You shouldn't not get enough sleep. Sometimes the people who make these make some slight mistakes. In English, we don't really use a double negative like shouldn't not, but we figured out the correct answer. When planning a family trip, you ignore what your family wants. Ignore, right? You don't listen. So don't do that. So you shouldn't ignore what your family wants. It's okay to say no to an invitation if you need to. When resolving conflicts, you try to address the issue as soon as possible. You should, right? When you have a problem, you should try to fix it. Before a big event, you eat heavy and greasy food. Like maybe you have to run far for a competition. Should you eat heavy and greasy food or should you not? Right? You shouldn't. If you are not sure about taking a gap year, so in the UK, when they finish high school, they have a year where they can kind of have some free time, decide what they want to do in their life before they start university. That's called gap year. If you're not sure about taking a gap year before college, you ask for advice. You should or shouldn't ask for advice. Right? You should. Very good. You ignore safety rules when riding a bicycle. Antaray ใช่ไหม? So you should. Right, you shouldn't. ขอโทษ. You shouldn't ignore safety rules. When studying for a test, you focus on your notes. You should focus or you shouldn't focus. Should. Before buying something expensive, you think about your budget. How much money do you have? Can you spend money and be okay? You should think about your budget. You take breaks if you're feeling overwhelmed at work. อยู่ทำงานเยอะมากอยู่เหนื่อยมาก Should you take a break or should you keep working? Don't stop. You should take breaks if you're feeling overwhelmed. Overwhelmed means like it's too much. So you should go walk outside, try to relax a little bit. Sabay sabay. If you are upset with a friend, you should or shouldn't talk to them calmly. Or you should talk to them calmly, right? Very good. If you have too many responsibilities, ask for help and share tasks. You should, right? Teamwork, work together as a team. If you hurt someone's feelings by making a mistake, you should or shouldn't say sorry. Should or shouldn't? Should you say ขอโทษครับ? You should, right? You decide what someone is like just from the first impression. Now, this is an interesting one because we often say you have to make a good first impression. But if you make a bad first impression, should you have the opportunity to learn again about that person, try again? Yeah. So we shouldn't decide what someone is like just from the first impression. What? They said should? Oh, Jairon, okha. I guess it's subjective. Some of the questions might be someone's opinion. But maybe you meet someone and they had a bad day, they're upset about something, and so, or maybe they're very shy. We have to give people chances, right? We should. We shouldn't judge them based on the first impression. Sometimes these are wrong. If you want to save money, you avoid buying things you don't need. Try, you don't need it, don't buy it, right? You should avoid buying things we don't need. Okay, let's go back to the slides. So this one here, use the idea, this is the writing portion of the final exam practice. So I want you to think about how to give advice to someone using should or shouldn't. And something you need to remember, the writing test, the writing portion of the exams, it may say 5 points, but that's 5 points on top of the total grade. So the reality is it's 25% of your total score. It's 1/4 of the score. So many of the students don't write anything at all, and you automatically lose 1/4 of your grade. So make sure you do this, okay? Now, these are not the same options that will be on the test, but it's the same idea, okay? So use the ideas in the box with the should or shouldn't to write sentences, to give advice. Now, one other thing you'll need to do is use because and explain the reason why. So if, for example, be careful with knives. Should you be careful with knives or you shouldn't be careful with knives? Knife one mead. You should be careful with knives. And tamai, why should you be careful with knives? Because you can cut yourself, right? How about listen to a nurse? Should you listen to the nurse or you shouldn't listen to a nurse? Get out of here, you. Where's the doctor? No, you should listen to the nurse, right? Tamai, why should you listen to the nurse? Because they're a trained professional and they're trying to help you, right? So you should listen to a nurse because they are trying to help you or they want to help you or because they're giving you medical advice. Drink a lot of water. Should you drink a lot of water? Yes, you should drink a lot of water because it's healthy or because you need to be hydrated. It's hot outside. We need to drink a lot of water to stay properly hydrated. How about run on ice? Should you run on ice? No, right? You shouldn't run on ice. Tamai. Because you might slip and fall. Same like the water on the floor example we saw earlier. How about eat a lot of cookies? One of my students wrote, you should eat a lot of cookies because cookies are delicious. Now, in your final exam, if you write something that's funny, I will accept it. But if you have teacher veto, maybe don't write something that's funny. Maybe keep it to the true idea of giving advice, right? So, should you eat a lot of cookies? No, right? Tamai. You shouldn't eat a lot of cookies because you can get fat or because it's not a healthy food. Eat a little, it's okay for a snack, for a dessert every now and then, but not all the time, right? You shouldn't eat a lot of cookies because cookies are not healthy. How about swim with an earache? Should you swim with an earache? No, you shouldn't swim with an earache because you can make the infection worse or because water can get in your ear. Sometimes ear infections happen from the water. How about exercise every day ออกกำลังกายทุกวัน Now you can give your own ideas for an answer like this. Maybe exercising every day is too much. It's not good for you every day. But for this kind of question, let's say, sorry, I have to go back and keep telling it, yes, the video is continuing. Okay, so I was saying exercise every day. You should exercise every day because you can get strong and fit, right? Really, you need a rest day, a couple of days a week, something like that. And how about touch someone's blood? Should you touch someone's blood? Are you a vampire? No, don't touch someone's blood. You shouldn't touch someone's blood because it can be infectious or because it's not clean. You can say something simple like that. You shouldn't touch someone's blood because it's not clean. Okay. Next slide. Okay, so I have this little quiz for you. You can click on that at home and take it yourself. So this is a simple past tense quiz with some true or false. It's only 10 questions, so let's try together. And then you take it at home. I to the movies last Friday. I go, I went, I goes, I going. My, I went. Hey, she, her parents yesterday. So remember, visit is the verb one. What do we add to visit to make it past tense? Not visits, not visiting, visited, right? She is visiting, that's present tense. She visits her parents every day. That's a continuous tense. So visited. The students to Paris over the summer break for an English camp. So travel is the base verb. The students travel to Paris. No. How do we add? What do we add to this to make it simple past tense? Travel. เก่งมาก a movie at the Sometimes we say this weekend, we mean the weekend that just passed. So I watched a movie. ใช่ไหม Hey, I to the store this weekend to buy some eggs. If go is the base verb, what do we change it to? It's an irregular. I goes, I going, I go, I went, past tense. You go to the gym to exercise. Is that true or false? Yes. Sometimes you might do it for the gram. You go to the bank to buy some eggs. จริงเหรอไปธนาคารกินกินไข่ดาวใช่ไหม You go to the bank to buy some eggs? No. You go to the bank to get some money, right? Or to deposit money, make a withdrawal. You usually buy rice at the train station. I know here in Thailand, maybe you can do that. But is that usually around the world? No, false. You can purchase candy at the supermarket. Big C have candy, may? Yeah. You can order a healthy dinner at a restaurant. Parang ahan mi ahan sukapap may? Ay. Maybe a salad, soup, steak. Oh, 10 out of 10. Gang mak. Chalad. Okay. Okay, Nakrian. So I think if you practice, let's see what else. We did the should and shouldn't. Remember, some of those are not the best, but most of them work. And then here we have a practice quiz. This PDF. This is a PDF that you can practice at home. Look at it. Complete the sentences with the simple past of the verb in parentheses. So we looked at this a lot tonight. They watch becomes what? They watched. Priscilla talk to her friends all day. What's past tense of talk? What did you talk about? We talked about the final exam. I have a terrible headache yesterday. If you say I have a terrible headache, you mean right now. So muawan, what is that? I had. Very good. Okay. So I want you to take this quiz and then send it to me in your Google Classroom. Okay. And that will give you some preparation for the upcoming final exam. He cleaned his room before bed. How do we make that a question? So this part here, you're making questions or negative sentences. So she visited her parents last weekend. How do we ask that as a question? Did she visit her parents last weekend? She visited her parents last weekend. He cleaned his room before bed. Mulai, right? When did he clean his room? He cleaned his room before bed. So you can think of the question and give the answer. Now, remember, when we use one negative like when, or I'm sorry, when we use one tense like a when, then the verb will remain the base verb. So that's sort of difficult, I know, but you can get this, you can do it. All right, Nakrian? Okay, guys, I'm very proud of you. I think you worked hard all year long, so you can do it, and I believe in you. Okay, Nakrian, what's this? Susuna? Okay, Nakrian, you can do this. All right. If you have any questions, feel free to message me. You all have me in your line groups and in your Google Classroom. You can send me an email. I gave you many opportunity for extra credit. Remember all the videos that we have in our Google Classroom. I want you to leave 5 comments. If you leave 5 comments in whatever the directions are asking of you, either explain this video, 5 things you learned from the video in the past simple tense, or describe this video with giving advice, you should or you shouldn't do something because, and give a reason why, then I'll give you extra points. And I can apply that to some assignments that maybe you didn't get the best score on, or you want to get a perfect score or something like that. You just work hard and I'll do my best to help you. Okay, Nakrian? Susuna? See you soon. I'll play this video for you to end your video. And this is something you should prepare for.
This is the world's greatest goalkeeper because it's a robot and it's really, really fast. And this is Ronaldo, the world's greatest soccer player.
Cristiano Ronaldo! Ronaldo!
So the question becomes, what happens when the world's greatest player faces off against the world's greatest keeper? And to even get to this point, I had to survive the toughest of coaches.
Don't cut the corner!
The strongest of legs.
Let's go!
A lot of failure and a little blood. Look at my hand! But all that started for me right here at the most iconic football stadium in the world when I was invited to play in the Sidemen charity match. And I came ready to play.
Left back, Mark!
Biggest stage of football we could ever play, 90,000.
My second favorite moment was when Speed tried to outspeed me.
Challenge from Mark Rover.
Because my first favorite moment was when I got to take a penalty kick and score a goal in front of 90,000 of my closest friends. Now, to say this was a dream of a lifetime would be an understatement. I've been playing soccer my whole life, starting at 5 years old, and that's the kind of moment you only dream about as a kid. The problem was, now that I realized how good that felt, I couldn't shake the idea that somehow I'd missed my life's calling to compete at the highest level with the likes of Cristiano Ronaldo. Now, normally, because I'm generally uncoordinated, when I need to compete at the highest level, I just rely on my brain, which means I know what it feels like to be a world-class bowler.
Product releases are easy because I use ClickUp. Here's how I handle our team's weekly product release. We track every
A world-class field goal kicker.
That's my boy!
World-class darts player, jigsaw champion, domino layer, and golfer. And so while that was a reliable plan B, if I was ever gonna have a chance to actually compete in a sport with my raw athletic talent, this would be my best shot. So with the cheers of Wembley still ringing in my ears, I made my way back to the pitch to meet up with the one person I knew could prepare me for the debut of my professional career, the GOAT of American soccer himself,
Mark, what's up, bud?
Landon Donovan. How we doing? And I cut right to it, asking if there's anything I would first need to know before going pro.
Okay, so you're training twice a day on the field.
Got it.
And then hour 15 in the gym every day.
Okay.
After that, calf raises, okay? 30 minutes a day, you're at home, calf raises. Every time you're running, ball at your feet all the time. Forget about your ice creams and your treats and your dessert. Lots of stretching, yoga, that's Pilates as well. Talking to a sports psychologist, keep your heart rate low while you're doing it. It's cutting, it's sprint, keep your hips mobile, running, jogging, it's massage. 6 more things.
Could you just write this down for me?
Just read my book.
Oh, it's come in audiobook?
Yes, it does.
It does? Okay, good.
Let me see what we're working with.
We started by running a 5-drill gauntlet to see if I had what it takes, starting with the simple exercise of kicking a ball straight up in the air. Easy enough? Oh boy.
No. Every time you mess up, you gotta take a lap.
What? Apparently this is a pretty common training technique for soccer.
Don't cut the corners!
My bad. With every mistake meaning a full lap around the field.
Try again.
Oh,
Take a lap.
Drill number 2 was testing my aerial attack, where I had to practice heading a ball lifted up to Ronaldo's max jump height at 9.5 feet.
is it close? Must have been good, right?
Lap.
Soccer's hard. Test 3 was the banana kick,
Just like this.
where we had to put spin on the ball to bend it into the net.
Not bad.
I got a not bad.
Not good.
I got a not good. I know, lap.
Faster, please.
The next 2 tests involved speed and accuracy.
So just like this.
This one, we had to bomb a ball into the goal from halfway down the field.
That's pretty.
So I gave it a shot and actually made it pretty far away from the net.
Lap.
Dang it! But I was feeling optimistic about the final test because that was aiming at targets at a much closer distance. So I was pretty sure I was running my last lap.
Don't cut the corner!
Barely cut!
All right, Mark. 4 targets, 4 balls.
I just had to hit the top right,
I hit the post.
and then the top left, and then the bottom right, and the bottom left.
Oh, is that even possible?
I mean, you could have just said yes.
Lap. Let's go.
Corner!
It's like a foot, coach.
I love the effort. I'd stick to science, bud.
So with that resounding end to my professional soccer career,
Thanks, Landon.
it's time to start thinking like an engineer and initiate plan B. And so after consulting with the team for a little brainstorm, this was plan B. If I want to be the best soccer player in the world, I'll first need to defeat the best soccer player in the world. In other words, I need to switch positions and make it impossible for Cristiano Ronaldo to score a goal on me by building the world's greatest goalkeeper. But there's a problem with that. Ronaldo kicks the ball at 80 miles per hour, so it'll reach the goal line in just a quarter of a second. Now, if our goalie's centered, then the maximum distance he has to travel is 12 feet. That means he'll need to yeet himself to 40 miles per hour, then slam back on the brakes to 0, all within 250 milliseconds. That's literally half the time it takes to blink. In other words, I'm gonna need some really big motors and a bunch of fancy cameras to track the ball so we can predict the trajectory after only a few milliseconds. For the fancy camera part, we got ourselves 12 high-speed infrared cameras. So while a normal camera sees me and Ian and anything else that's randomly in the background, those 12 cameras only see one thing, this soccer ball. And that's because if you look real close on the soccer ball, we've got these little gray stickers called retroreflectors, whose surface is made up of tiny little glass spheres that bounce any light right back at the light source, like you see with those markers on the road or with road signs. So these cameras blast the scene with infrared light, and because they can only see infrared, the retroreflectors glow super bright relative to everything else. So when you compare exactly where the center of the bright spot is in all 12 images, and then do some really complicated math, you get a 3D position of where the ball is down to the nearest millimeter 500 times per second. For us, that means 6 milliseconds after being kicked, we now have 3 data points we can draw a line through to predict where the ball will end up. In other words, by the time Ronaldo's kick has traveled exactly this far, the goalie robot will already know exactly where it needs to be to block the shot. So we first needed to validate our tracking system by recording a kick that was faster than 7 over. It was time to face Cristiano Ronaldo, the greatest soccer player of all time, a legend on the field. And oh my gosh, he's right here tying his shoes right in front of me. All of a sudden, this was real, it was happening, and I had to show him that I meant business. All right, Cristiano, I will bet you 5 million subscribers that you cannot score on me in goal. I'll give you 3 tries even.
That I don't score.
Yeah, and you won't score.
Okay. Let's go.
Okay. Now, of course, I didn't think I was going to stop all of them. But considering my lifetime of soccer experience, I wondered if I had a shot at stopping one. I mean, he is Cristiano Ronaldo, but I've been training my whole life for this moment. Oh, wow. Oh, that's not good. Okay, obviously, I wasn't going to be able to block all of them. I'm not even wearing gloves. Ah! Or even 2. That was like an inch gap. Okay. But now I know your tells. I had a shot at getting one. Because having seen Cristiano's form hitting both the left and the right, I had a chance to study his body language to figure out which direction he was going to.
Again, the same.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. You even told me. That's disappointing.
One more?
No. I actually have something else I want to show you over here. It was time to introduce Ronaldo to my guest of honor, in front of half the Portugal national soccer team he brought over with him. No biggie. All right, Cristiano, when I said you couldn't score on me, I meant you couldn't score on my robot. And I held for applause, as did my robot. But Cristiano seemed less than impressed.
It looks big, eh?
Yeah, he's a little bigger than me.
Yeah.
You want to see how fast it moves?
Yes.
Okay, Ian, we good? Let's show him. Woo! Do it one more time.
Very fast.
It's pretty fast. The robot is better than me.
So let's try.
Ronaldo was game. Here we go. I wanted to get started pretty far away from the goalie.
Tô a aquecer ainda,
All right, Cristiano, we are ready.
Okay.
It was time for Ronaldo to face some cold, hard engineering. Hey!
Let me do another one just to see.
And his first kick didn't offer him up any clues. Do you have a strategy now? What do you think?
We need to, I don't know. Let me try again.
That was fast.
Agora vou dar com força, para ver.
Oh! So is he better than me?
Yes.
Ronaldo kept trying to go at it full force, and quickly realized this was not going to be an easy fight. I like that you're stretching now.
Yeah, la porrada.
But the only thing taking a beating was Ronaldo standing amongst his teammates.
Queres tentar?
So I took a shot on my own.
If you keep going, you might tire him out. I don't know. I'm just kidding.
Until he gently suggested I shut my mouth,
Oh!
which left quite an impression.
Wow. That would have broken a nose.
The glowing robot looked to be unbeatable, which was a huge relief because when shipping the robot over here, one of the carriage rails got slightly damaged, and this meant sometimes it would stop short of the goalpost on kicks placed to the right. But thankfully, didn't seem to be an issue after all.
You think he could be on the Portuguese team?
Yes, better than Diogo.
It seemed like his theory was that the cameras were tracking his body to predict the ball direction before he kicked it. So he ran a simple test.
Oh! Panenka! The stunner!
But then he seemed to have a new plan
A bola tem sensor, não é ele. A bola, ele sente a bola a sair.
because he stopped using his kicks to try and beat the robot and started using his kicks to try and find a weakness.
Vou tentar diferente agora. Ai!
That had potential.
Se naquele cantinho ali. Tens de tentar colocá-la.
Ah!
Bate-lhe aqui.
Okay, I'm getting nervous.
Let me try again.
Okay.
Last one. É isso que eu vou fazer.
All right, ready when you are.
The funny thing about lifelong dreams is they always involve a bunch of unexpected twists and turns on the pathway up the mountain that often end up being some of the best moments.
Mas é top, esta é impossível.
And even when the view at the top isn't exactly what you first pictured,
Thank you, buddy.
you.
Really
Thank
appreciate
you.
it, Ronaldo.
And very good, eh? Very good even.
Okay,
Very
good.
nice.
it means you can now see a bunch more mountaintops you could potentially climb next. But those will have to wait for another video.
Oh, that's nice as you. That's...
This holiday season, if you want to have a ton of
Okay, Naklian. So I showed you that video again because that will be something that might have a listening or a reading comprehension portion. So this link is in your Google Classroom if you want to review it, check again. You know, I sped the video through because this is, we don't have the time in this video to put the full length on there. But I think you have all the tools now. Review everything that we've covered from Unit 6 and Unit 7. And then you'll be ready for the test. Okay, Nakrian? Susuna, and I'll see you in school. Have a good day. Have a good night.